No matter where you are, the moment you step into the world of online gambling, there's an invisible middleman by your side, a figure you may never meet, but who constantly influences the flow of your money, the agent. I've never fully understood why so many gamblers harbor such deep-seated hatred for this group, yet every sleepless night, every time they click on that familiar website, they willingly, unknowingly generate profits for the very role they despise. They don't even know who this agent hiding behind the screen is, male or female, rich or poor. This forms a massive, tragic paradox in the world of online gambling, a web woven from greed, despair, and self-deception. In life, everyone faces moments when reality pushes them to the edge of a cliff. At that point of no retreat, many find themselves stepping onto a path they never imagined taking, a path against their true intentions, fraught with thorns. This isn't to excuse their choices, but to offer insight into the fragility of human nature. It's like those who, driven to desperation by financial temptation, dip their toes into the drug trade, thinking they're in control. In reality, the moment they step in, they become the most expendable link in a vast criminal chain, a mere pawn. They might gain money in the short term, but what they lose is the peace of their soul and the possibilities of their future. They fantasize about being masterminds, unaware that the true controllers never show their faces. They're just a piece on the board, easily sacrificed. In the gambling world, aren't those who transition from gamblers to agents much the same? They think they've gone from pawn to player, not realizing they've merely changed positions, still struggling in a game with a predetermined outcome. To truly understand the logic of this industry, we must turn our gaze to the technicians behind the scenes, the ones who build this virtual empire. Have you ever wondered, in this era of information overload, why those in internet technology can amass such staggering wealth? The answer is simple. They hold the core power of our time, the flow and presentation of information. They have the skills to push a website to the top of search engine results, knowing how to exploit algorithms to make a specific domain stand out among thousands, appearing right before your eyes. When a frantic gambler searches for a gambling keyword late at night, the top few links seem so official, so direct, as if they're the casino's own portal. This is the fruit of their technical prowess, and also their most sophisticated scam. You think you've bypassed all middlemen, found an official site without an agent, and congratulate yourself on your savvy. Little do you know, the website itself is a trap set by the highest level agents. These are the ones truly at the top of the pyramid, effortlessly reaping profits. They don't need to grovel for clients like low-level agents or face gamblers' curses and doubts. They only need to invest time and some initial capital, using search engine optimization, SEO, to craft a seemingly safe and reliable haven. Then sit back and wait for countless players like you to swim into their net with your hard-earned money. And these players, even after losing everything or getting scammed out of huge sums, might still believe deep down that it was just bad luck. At least not a penny went to those despicable agents. This naive self-consolation is exactly what those tech masterminds love to see. Of course, reaching this level requires immense effort, time, and financial investment. Cultivating a domain and boosting a website's ranking can take months or even years of continuous optimization and maintenance. Thus, for any sizable gambling company, the top-tier domains driven purely by technical means are few and far between. These are their most valuable, stable assets. To rapidly expand their market and reach a broader audience, most companies still rely on the oldest, most effective method: the human wave tactic, recruiting hordes of runners to find and maintain clients. And who makes up the bulk of this massive workforce? The industry's greatest victims. Those who've lost everything at the gambling table and have nowhere left to turn. When someone is crushed by massive debt, has lost the trust of all friends and family, and sees their life plunge into darkness, becoming a runner seems like the only lifeline they can grasp. This job offers a meager income, a chance to barely survive. They go from gamblers to hunters, using the same crooked paths they once walked to lure others into repeating their mistakes. In essence, these runners are just seeking a faint glimmer of hope in the abyss of despair, all for a salary that barely sustains a basic life. They are the most visible and the most tragic link in this industry chain. Over the years, I've had complex conversations with many who work as agents. The question I asked most often was, "You know you're leading others into an abyss. Don't you feel even a shred of guilt?" Their answers varied, but the helplessness and struggle behind them were strikingly similar. Some admitted frankly, "I don't want this, but life has backed me into a corner. I have no other choice. If I don't do it, someone else will. Others justified themselves with seemingly rational logic. They're going to gamble anyway. Does it matter where? If they don't play through me, the profit still goes to some stranger they'll never know. At least with me, I can give them some warnings, maybe even advise them when they're losing too much. And you think a site you find on your own has no agent? That's just naive. Those top-tier tech agents are clever. They never leave direct contact info. Once the site is built and ranked, they just wait to collect. They prey on the biggest human weakness, thinking you're smarter than everyone else, refusing to let your money go to others. In the end, these smart people are still contributing their wealth to a stranger they'll never touch. I followed up, "So, have you made money? Has your life actually improved?" At this, most showed a bitter smile. Made money? Easier said than done. We low-level runners without tech skills just get a base salary from the company, plus some measly platform promotions as bait to attract clients to register. The company's demands keep rising, and the competition gets fiercer. Often, we can only rely on our old gambling buddies, convincing them to play on our line to meet quotas and survive in the company. This job is far from glamorous. Every day is filled with stress and anxiety. I pressed further. When players who lose money vent all their anger on you, cursing you with the vilest words, what goes through your mind? After a moment of silence, they'd say slowly, "Let them curse. We're used to it. Honestly, we understand how they feel. We've been there ourselves. But like I said, even if they don't play through me, their money still goes to some stranger, maybe someone in a foreign land. And playing on shady sites carries bigger risks. Your money could get swallowed up anytime. At least we can offer them some basic guarantees." Hearing this, I posed one final question. What guarantees you that the money players deposit through you will actually reach their accounts? What if the company runs off or refuses to pay out? What can you do? This question seemed to touch the last line of defense for these agents, the cornerstone they use to convince themselves and their clients. They replied, "Because we work for a real company. Sure, it's illegal domestically, but it's an organization with a stable structure and long-term plans. For the company to operate, reputation comes first, so they ensure normal payouts. Especially for clients we runners bring in, unless there's clear rule breaking, the company approves withdrawals. Think about it. Why would a company spend huge manpower costs to recruit and manage us runners? To build a trust-based network for long-term growth and stable clients. If a company just wants to grab money and run, it wouldn't bother with all this. They'd hire a few tech guys, pay to boost site rankings, and make money faster, more discreetly. In that case, if a player wins and wants to argue, they can't even find a contact, let alone a company. The platform can just block you and you're helpless. But we, at least, are real people, someone they can reach. That's a form of intangible assurance. Their words left me deep in thought. Despite the self-justification in their tone, some of their logic cruelly aligned with reality. I recalled my own painful experience. Like most self-proclaimed smart gamblers, I once scoffed at agents, convinced I could find the safest, most direct platform. I spent a lot of time and found a sleek, professional-looking site, playing on it for over a year. During that time, I went through countless wins and losses, but every withdrawal, big or small, hit my account within half an hour. This reliability dulled my caution, fostering near-absolute trust in the platform. Until one day, luck seemed to favor me. I won $230,000 in a single night. Excited, I submitted my withdrawal request as usual, but instead of the familiar confirmation, I got a cold under review status. Hours passed, and nothing changed. Anxiety crept in. I contacted customer service, who fed me standardized responses about my account being flagged for abnormal betting patterns and needing review. I explained frantically that all my bets were legit, but their replies were robotic, repeating the same hollow excuses. Days turned into a week, and my account remained frozen, that $230,000 sitting there, mocking me untouchable. Finally, when I logged in again, my account had been deactivated. I was utterly powerless. The frustration and betrayal still linger. After that lesson, I swore never to bet on any site without a trusted contact as a bridge. People like me who've had their money stolen must number in the millions worldwide. It's an unspoken rule in this industry. These shady platforms operate like carefully laid traps. They're patient, fulfilling your small withdrawals promptly, faster than anyone, to build your trust, making you believe they're reputable. They're playing the long game, waiting for the moment you lose control, either from a massive win that lowers your guard or a crushing loss that drives you to throw in everything to break even. That's when they strike, using every excuse to swallow your funds. All your small wins were just bait for this final slaughter. Your anger, your curses, your pleas. They're just the futile struggles of prey in their eyes. But if the story stopped at agents and stolen funds, it wouldn't touch the true core of this dark industry. The real terror lies in the unseen code, data streams, and psychological traps. This is a precision-killing machine built by actuaries, programmers, psychologists, and transnational crime syndicates, with every link designed to devour a player's wealth and their entire life. First, we must dismantle the biggest lie: fairness. Whether it's Baccarat, roulette, or slots, platforms claim their game outcomes are generated by internationally certified random number generators, RNGs. Absolutely fair and unpredictable. This is the first dose of poison to numb you. In truth, most online gambling platforms have a back-end system called risk control or back-end manipulation. This system is far smarter and crueler than you imagine. Take Baccarat, the most popular game, as an example. You think you're playing a fair game against a glamorous dealer in a far-off country, but your real opponent is the cold code on a server. Its core logic isn't randomness, but profit maximization. It analyzes all players' bets on the table in real time, calculating potential outcomes and their impact on the platform's profits or losses before dealing. Suppose in one round, bets on banker total 100,000, while bets on player total 1 million. If you were the platform's boss, what result would you want? The answer is obvious. The backend can decide in a split second whether to deal randomly or intervene. When bets are lopsided enough, it triggers intervention, ensuring the outcome favors the platform. This is the industry's unspoken kill big, pay small rule. The platform doesn't mind you winning, it even needs some winners to create a wealth effect, drawing more players in. But it will never allow most people, especially those betting big at critical moments, to win. You'll often notice that when you're confident and go all in, the result breaks your heart. That's not bad luck. It's you triggering the system's kill mechanism. Even scarier is that this control is personalized through player profiling and individualized manipulation. From the moment you register, the system builds a detailed data profile on you, your favorite games, betting habits, win-loss cycles, playtimes, deposit amounts, and how reckless you get when chasing losses. All this data is recorded, analyzed, and used to create a player portrait. The system then tailors its feeding and slaughter based on your profile. For example, if it identifies you as a cautious newbie, it might let you win small amounts early on, giving you the illusion that this game is easy, I can win, enticing you to bet more. If it detects you're in a desperate, chasing losses state, it might toss you a small win to spark hope, like showing a mirage to a thirsty desert wanderer, luring you to throw in your last chips before delivering the fatal blow. Conversely, if you win too much and cross the platform's red line, it starts targeted control. No matter how you play, you lose. The patterns turn bizarre, nothing hits, and it feels like the world is against you. This isn't mysticism, it's data and algorithms striking with precision. You think you're battling luck, but you're up against an all-knowing, emotionless data god with no chance of winning. Those seemingly real, live dealer streams are also full of tricks. The industry has long mastered pre-recorded technology. Some smaller or shady platforms, to save on costly dealers and venues, don't even have live sessions. The footage you see is pre-recorded. They might record multiple outcomes for the same shoe, one where the banker wins, another where the player wins. The back end then decides which clip to show you based on the kill big, pay small principle. You think you're interacting with a live dealer, maybe even call to verify the scene, but it could all be a meticulously crafted scam. More advanced cheating involves real dealers but rigged decks or card shoes with built-in scanners. Before dealing, the system already knows the next few cards' values, perfectly controlling the game's outcome. What you see is just the performance they want you to see. As for slot machines, they're the epicenter of deception. Physical slots can already be tweaked via chips to control payout rates. Online slots are even more arbitrary and covert. The advertised 97% or 98% return to player RTP rate sounds tempting, implying a small player disadvantage. But this is a blatant word game. That RTP is a theoretical average over millions of spins. Platforms can dynamically adjust the RTP for individual players or time periods. They can set eating and spitting cycles. When you start playing or deposit a large sum, the system might put you in a spitting cycle, letting you win frequently, even hitting small jackpots, making you think the big prize is near. But as you invest more, it quietly switches to an eating cycle. No matter how you spin, payouts dwindle, free spins vanish, and your balance plummets. The more you put in, the harder it bites. Slots were never about luck. They're a meticulously designed wealth grinder. Having exposed the technical darkness, we must also dive into the underground financial chain that sustains this massive industry. Ever wondered how, in a country that cracks down hard on gambling, you can so easily deposit money into an overseas gambling site? Behind this lies a vast, tightly organized money laundering network, known in the industry as underground banks or fourth-party payment platforms. When you choose to deposit on a site and get redirected to a payment page, you think you're paying the gaming company, but the recipient is often a seemingly legitimate business, like XX Trading Company, Limited, or XX Tech Service Center. Your money doesn't go straight to the gambling company's account. It flows into one of countless proxy accounts, or shell company accounts, controlled by these fourth-party platforms. Many of these accounts are registered with purchased IDs or business licenses, solely for receiving and transferring gambling funds. Once your money hits, it's quickly split into smaller sums, shuffled through hundreds or thousands of accounts in a dizzyingly complex process, like a drop of ink dissolving into the ocean, making it nearly impossible for law enforcement to trace. After this cleaning, the funds are converted into cryptocurrency, like USDT, or funneled through other illegal channels to the gambling syndicate's overseas accounts. This whole process often takes just minutes. That's why many who gamble online find their bank cards suddenly frozen. They've unknowingly participated in illegal money laundering, flagged by law enforcement's anti-money laundering models. Once your money enters this black financial vortex, you lose all control, left praying the platform might grace you with some withdrawal allowance. In this dark ecosystem, besides money, the most valuable commodity is your personal information. From the moment you register, your name, phone number, bank card details, IP address, and betting history become a record in the gambling syndicate's database. This data isn't just used to exploit your weaknesses, it's sold repeatedly on the black market. That's why, after signing up on one gambling site, you soon get bombarded with calls and texts from other platforms. Agents swarm like sharks smelling blood, tempting you with offers to play on their sites. They know your situation inside out, how much you've lost, whether you're a big spender or a small fry, enabling hyper-targeted marketing. Worse, some agents engage in cutthroat competition, stealing clients by reporting you to your current platform, getting your account frozen, then swooping in as a savior to solve your problem if you join their site. In this world, you're not a player. You're a priced commodity, a prey fought over by rival forces.